Hello everyone, welcome to the Wednesday trade recap and forecast. So let's see what has been happening in the markets. Markets have been more range bound, so looks like we are starting this year with January and February being mostly a range bound market, which is okay. I mean, on the 1 hour chart, it's looking mostly flat like this. And most of the trending entries are not currently active, okay? So if you have a range bound entry, like we are implementing recently, I just started trading like a range bound entry, well, then you can exploit these sort of markets. But yeah, they're looking a bit flat. You're not seeing these massive legs. The last trending entry that I took actually, was here. Okay, this was a clear, nice uptrend on the euro and the Japanese yen. So this is what I'm looking for the trend entries. I think we got in on a break and retest right here. Yeah, that was the one with a 12 pip stop loss. So that was kind of the last of the trends. It happened on the 8th of February. But it is what it is. So the markets we know can range for like maybe even 70% of the time. The markets are range bound and they're trending only 30% of the time. So it may be wise to implement a range bound entry, which I am starting to live test right now. Okay, so let's get into the euro and US dollar analysis. Let's see what has been happening on this one. Let me see. Yeah, markets are mostly flat right here. We got this V reversal, which I was really interested in. Okay, this looked nice. It looked like a clean V reversal formation. So I was definitely looking for this to go to the downside. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Instead, price started to range around a little bit and then went all the way up and hit the upper liquidity area of the range, I believe. Yeah, see, hit the upper liquidity, retraced. So the V reversal didn't play out, and then we just continued ranging around right here, being flat, being corrective, not really seeing anything for a trend trading entry. Then we did have this impulse right here. This impulse hit kind of the lower liquidity of this large range, right? So the lower liquidity, there is some liquidity here. There's also some liquidity definitely below this major low as well. And you can see price went into it and heavily rejected this area. So just what is liquidity? Well, basically liquidity is people, retail traders buying here, maybe buying here, buying here. Where would you put your stops? You would most likely put them below this low. Okay, so this area is full of stop losses. That's why the bigger players like to push the price into these areas and heavily reject from them, capturing the liquidity and stopping the retail traders out, filling up their larger positions. Okay, so that is kind of the methodology behind chasing these liquidity areas or rejecting from the liquidity areas. You can see went into it just with a single impulse, heavy rejection, heavy blue candle, and now is retracing. I think this is just going to continue ranging around in this general flat range. Okay, so I'm expecting something like this to happen. That is what I'm expecting. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for possibly another V reversal to print and then a range and then a trend up. Look to buy on the uptrend, or possibly this can still continue down and then show me a established downtrend. So currently this is just one bearish impulse, but if we do this, pull back a little bit, continue, then to me this is an established trend formation. And then I'm gonna be very likely to look for sell setups in this area. Okay, so that's the plan. Currently not on the watch list. I don't like the current formation. It is very flat. So basically the range bound entry I'm live testing only on the Aussie US dollar for now. So I think we can move on to the euro and the Japanese yen. Let's see what has been happening from Wednesday on EJ. Okay, so we had this sort of momentum up. Again, at this point, I was waiting to see if this will continue to the upside further. Printed a huge wick up, so major warning sign. It was in an established uptrend, but nothing really happened. We got an aggressive retrace down, so nothing of interest. Then we were just flat here, and then we pushed up with a single impulse. I know some people took this trade for, let's say, break and retest. maybe you were seeing a bit of a more corrective, but still a descending channel in this area, okay? And then you see price pushing to the upside, and then you see a one candle pullback, push up, and then you look to get in on a buy setup, on a break and retest setup. For me, identify these two candles, these two large red candles, and it's Monday, okay? So two large red candles showing a rejection of that area, and it's Monday as well. Two warning signs, and I would not be happy to take this trade, okay? Definitely wouldn't be happy with the slowdown that I'm seeing here. I'm seeing on the lower time frames, this is definitely going to be ascending, okay? So if we drop down to, let's say, the 5 minute, okay, it's definitely an ascending channel. Now, this is not something I do, but I just know when I see on the 1 hour these sort of formations with these large red candles in a bullish trend, that this is not going to continue. Very likely not to continue, okay? So, didn't like that. Then we went down, corrective. I would say we are kind of stuck in this general area, stuck in this range. So I'm not going to put EJ, Euro, Japanese yen on the watch list either. I'm going to be more patient with this particular pair as well. I'm looking for a large impulse up or a large impulse up, down. So very simple. Looking for that momentum, looking for the price to break out of this general area. Okay, I want to see price break out of this general area. Currently it is stuck in this range, and just I'm not looking for anything here. And this Friday is NFP, I believe, as well. So on NFP I usually stop trading at around 1 or 2 a.m. London time on a Friday. Again, NFP is the spreads expand, the volatility expands. Usually price just does this. So ranges around right before NFP, and then you have an NFP candle which goes crazy, stops you out for even more than you initially risked. So in my trading plan, I have stopped trading at 1 or 2 a.m. London time on a Friday NFP. So I'm only gonna trade for today and tomorrow, because tomorrow is Thursday. Then I'm stopping. Of course, waiting for Monday next week. Moving on. We have the Aussie and US dollar. So let's see if anything was forming on the Aussie US dollar. I did take a trade, but first let's cover from last Wednesday. We were just very, very flat. Okay, very, very flat. I did see this V reversal. And I know after a V reversal, price can easily range and drop down. Okay, so that can easily happen with a V reversal. But unfortunately, price decided to continue ranging around and being in this flat range. Okay, you can see heavy retrace to the upside. So this V reversal pattern was no longer relevant to me personally. And we were just very, very flat in this general area. Very flat range. And let's see what happened after we broke out of the range, because we did break out. Let's run it from here. Okay, so this is the new entry, and it is called the liquidity sweep. If you want to know more about this entry, if you want to know the exact entry level, stop loss, take profit, we are discussing all of that in Zentum Trading. There's going to be a link in the description to join, of course, but this setup is still in testing as well, so it has not been fully released to the community yet. We have backtested it. In backtesting, it proved some very nice results, and now we want to live test it as well. So we want to see in live testing, can we make a profit as we made in backtesting? Live testing and backtesting are definitely not the same thing. You first need to heavily backtest at least the last 3 years of price action, and then you need to live test the setup as well. Is it easy to execute? Is it easy to spot the setup in the live markets? What about the spreads? What about the commission? What about spread hours? What about your trading hours? Does the setup form early Monday when you're not trading? Okay, so you need to take all of these things into account and see if you can actually apply the methodology you did in backtesting to make a profit, if you can apply it for your live trading as well. Okay, once you're happy with our live trading results, it's going to be fully released to the Zentum Trading community. But of course, we're already discussing these setups in the community. We have a virtual trade floor, And all of these trades are posted on the virtual trade floor for the people to discuss, see if they maybe have a recommendation about the take profit, about the stop loss, if they had any other backtesting experience as well. So we're developing this entry in collaboration with our trading community members. So flat range liquidity is gonna be above and below, okay? It's gonna be below here for sure. There's gonna be some people buying here, buying here, buying here. Where would you keep your stops? You would keep it underneath this low. And definitely this major low is full of liquidity as well, okay? If for the people that bought all the way here, look at this large momentum up. Definitely some people, retail people bought here, putting their stops below this low as well. Especially on the higher time frames, you have to also think, what are the traders on the 4-hour or on the daily chart doing? Okay, they're definitely gonna be buying here, and they're gonna be putting their stops underneath the major low. So let's put back the box. What happens? Price pushes into the liquidity. We know these areas are very likely to reject. Looking for a rejection. This is still not enough for me. Okay. And then we do finally reject. We finally break this level as well. Okay. So that was nice. And after that, I did look for an entry. I'm not going to say exactly where the entry was, where the take profit was, where the stop loss was. That is all for the Zentum traders. And I'm not going to go too much into all of the confluences that made this trade high probability. Just know that I did take a buy setup here, and it was unfortunately a 1% loss. Okay, so it did end up being a 1% loss. Price reversed, as you can see. But it was a nice trade, very high probability, some very nice confluences. The best confluences were this level got taken out, this level got taken out as well. Okay, so it is a clear range-bound entry, enabling us to make some nice profits in the range-bound markets as well. I know some SMC guys use it as well, a similar thing. They use the liquidity sweep. I have seen it on social media. So it's a very good, very high probability entry. Everyone has their own twist, okay? We're doing it only on the 1-hour chart, and we're doing some parameters that the SMC guys are not doing. But the general methodology of taking out liquidity is gonna be the same. Then we got this large push down, very large impulse to the downside. And then we got a clear shift in, not really a clear shift in momentum, but we're getting a bit of a shift in momentum. I was definitely interested at this point to look for a break and retest setup. So to look for something like this. But now that we have these two candles printed, now I'm no longer that interested, I have to say. Okay, it's not looking that good. I'm seeing a bit of bullish buying pressure, and I'm just being a bit more patient. I don't think I would take a flag here. Would I take a break and retest? Maybe if the break was really large like this. Maybe I would take a break and retest again. I'm really skeptical because price action is kind of range bound, maybe even descending. And then you get this large impulse going down and then you get this bullish pressure. So I'm being a bit more patient. I'm gonna put it on the watch list. So I need to see what happens in the next few candles. This is not looking that good. Okay, what do I want to see the most is large momentum going down. And then an entry, then a sell setup. I want to see an established downtrend. That is what I want to see. Okay. Aussie Japanese yen. This one last Wednesday was around here. We had a really clean V reversal. Unfortunately, it did not play out. Instead, we broke the high, retraced, and then we descended all the way here. Got another V reversal. That one didn't play out either. Okay, the V reversal did not play out either. And then what happened is we started dropping down, descending as well. So overall, what I can see a large descending channel like this, and I can see then an impulse going down. So I actually expect this impulse to fail. In most cases, after a descending, this is like the last fake out to the downside, getting a lot of retail traders to sell, and then price decides to reverse up. That is in my personal backtesting experience. So let's see if that happens. If price decides to go down, gives me a nice breakdown like this, look for a break and retest scenario for sure. Okay, then I'm seeing major bearish pressure kick back in, and then I'm looking for a nice bearish setup scenario. Would I look for a flag here? I'm not sure. Not sure if I would look for a flag. I kind of expect this to go up. So I'll have to think about it. Currently, we are not really seeing major bullish pressure in this pullback. So definitely not seeing major bullish pressure yet. But the best case would be either for this to reverse up, then look for buy setups, or for this to drop down, break the low one more time like this, and show me a nice break and retest setup. That's the plan. Gonna put it on the watch list as well. Definitely gonna put it on the watch list. I wanna see that bearish momentum, and then I would be very interested to look for sell setups on the Aussie Japanese yen. Pound has been flat. Okay, very flat in this area. Range bound, corrective, not seeing anything. We did get this V reversal right here. It unfortunately did not play out, okay? So unfortunately it did break the high and retrace. Also one more thing, the Aussie US dollar trade, I'm only risking on this new liquidity sweep entry 0.25%, okay? So I'm only starting with lower risk. Once I gain more confidence, once I see that it actually works in the live markets as well, then I'm gonna bump up my risk. So this was a minus 0.25% loss. Just wanted to comment on that. Okay. So yeah, flat, range bound, corrective, broke the low, retraced. As you can see, tapped into the liquidity area, just rejected from the liquidity. And I'm looking for a large push up or a large push down. Not gonna put it on the watch list either. Not really seeing any potential. A classic pound. Okay, classic pound US dollar price action. Look at how it has been very corrective for a very long time. From the 28th of November, we just were flat. Flat, corrective, and range bound on the pound. So let's be a bit more patient on this currency pair, and we can move on to the final one, which is going to be the New Zealand and the Japanese yen. So let's see it. NJ has been pretty interesting, I have to say. There were a couple of setups. Okay, so let me see. Last Wednesday was around here, and then we did a send up. I did like this ascending channel. I still liked it. I was liking the ascending channel here, and then it continued with this nice ascending formation. So I did look for, I was very interested to look for sell setups, but unfortunately I didn't get that nice confirmation. I never got that clean entry pattern. We did get a flag formation here, but for me this flag had double wicks and had a bit of too much bullish pressure. Okay, so, and it was Monday as well, so you have 3 warning signs. First warning sign, double wicks. Second warning sign, major bullish pressure. Third warning sign, that it's Monday. Okay, so it just kind of looks like an aggressive retrace. That is the reason why I did not take this flag. Would have been a loss. Okay, would have been a loss. It went up, tapped this area, and then rejected and started dropping heavily. Okay, it started dropping heavily. Now it looks to be descending. So now it looks to be descending on the bottom. So maybe we can look for a reversal going to the opposite direction. Let's see if that can happen. So I'm gonna put it on the watch list actually. Looks interesting. Definitely it's not flat, okay? It's definitely not looking like, for example, the pound US dollar, which is super flat, super corrective, just looks like crap. NJ definitely looks much more interesting and looks to have much more potential. So the scenarios that are in my forecast are gonna be a clean descending and then a reversal up like this. Okay, or maybe just a large push down or a large push up. You never know. Okay, maybe a straight reversal from this small descending channel like this. Maybe this bearish momentum kicks back in, so this is just a break of structure. Maybe we kick back in with the momentum, look for sell setups. So it's crucial what happens in the next couple of candles. Currently, I am seeing this large bearish leg, but I'm also seeing it starting to slow down on the bottom. So as long as it shows me pressure up or pressure down, I'm gonna be interested. But if what I don't want to see is just for it to range around like this. That is something I don't want to see on this price action. It's definitely showing me potential though. Just look at this ascending channel, okay? So this can possibly hit these lows right here, because this is where the ascending started. So it may retrace all the way to here. So if a sell setup forms, it does have some breathing room to actually hit some of these levels on the bottom. I really like this ascending channel. We can even go to the 4-hour. And on the 4-hour, yeah, look how clean it is. Okay, so only the highs are being broken, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 consecutive breaks of the high. So this is definitely not a surprise that this happened. Again, we're only trading on the 1-hour, but just it's interesting to look at the 4-hour and maybe the 15 minute, because it's all fractional or whatever the name is. So basically the same sort of price action occurs on every sort of time frame, as you can see here. This 4-hour channel is super clean. And if you go on the 1-hour and you go to, for example, December, let's go to December, not 2022, but 2023. I just want to show you a nice clean ascending channel on the 1-hour. It kind of looks the same. 1-hour, 4-hour, right? Looks the same. Look at this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive breaks of the high. Definitely seeing some similarities. So it's all, I think they say it's fractional or cyclical, or there's some sort of name behind it. Same sort of price action occurs on all of the time frames. 15 minute, 5 minute, 1-hour, 4-hour, daily, doesn't matter. But we are focusing on the 1-hour, keeping it simple, only looking at the 1-hour chart, and that adds simplicity, and that adds you a freedom of time, because you don't have to, you only have to monitor the charts on top of each hour. So on top of each hour, open trading view, see what's happening. Is there a trade? If there is, execute. If there is not, close the charts and do what you were doing before you got the alarm to check the charts, okay? So that's about it. Let's quickly summarize. Aussie US dollar. Let's see if this selling pressure can continue back down. I want to see that. It's on the watch list, definitely. AJ, let's see if we can break the low with force. 100%. NJ, let's see if maybe we can reverse. We can get a descending and then reverse. Or if this bearish leg can continue down even further. That is what I'm looking for. That's on my radar. Hope you guys have a great trading week, and I will see you guys on next Wednesday.